So Scav Karma has been in Escape from Tarkov for a few months now, and they've tinkered with it quite a bit, but the question is it worth grinding up all that rep to get max level fence? I've had it for a few weeks now, and in this video we are going to dive into if it's worth it, some of the rewards, and how it could be one of the best ways to make money, and in some pretty unconventional ways. I'm Jessekazam, welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. If you like the video, think about dropping a like or commenting down below. I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch, all my links will be down below. I'd love to have you stop by and say hey, but with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. So obviously, as a disclaimer, this is all still kind of the first iteration of Scav Karma. We've had it for a few months. They've tinkered with it. It definitely feels like this is the form it's going to hold for the next few months until they make a large update to it. But we know this is version 1. We know Nikita has talked about them wanting to add more ways to gain karma, more ways to lose karma, more quests, and all sorts of stuff from Fence. This will grow, but this is kind of as it stands right now in this first iteration. Is it worth it? And even as I started to research this video and dive into it, I kind of went into it kind of thinking it wasn't worth it. I felt like it wasn't bringing me a lot of benefit until I kind of looked deeper. So I have max rep, kind of quote unquote max reps. Soft cap is 6 because once you get to 6, you unlock the second tier of Fence. And as I understand it, most of the rewards, the other rewards like the discounts and all sorts of stuff kind of cap out at 6.0 as well. But you can grind past that, as we learned with the event that they did not long ago and the fact that I've got 7.04 right now. I don't know if there's a benefit currently to having over 6. A lot of people are using that as an opportunity to be more aggressive because they can lose some karma but still stay above max. I'm kind of not doing that because if they ever add like a third tier here or anything like that at a higher karma, I want to be as close to that as I can. But for now, there's not really a whole reason to go super high above 6.0. But when talking about if it's worth it, there's kind of like two different lanes. There's where we all thought Scav Karma would really shine and actually where it really shines. So some of the things that we thought were going to be the big thing is like Fence Tier 2. Fence Tier 2 sucks. There is almost nothing ever here. This whole like uninsured items. I have never seen like cool guns, good body armor. Like if you're just sitting here and refreshing this all day, which nobody really wants to do, you might be able to find some cool stuff, but like beanies and half-used CMS kits and Tazes and Glocks, like there's nothing really here. I have never found anything here that had a good value or something that I really want, except maybe every once in a while something that I'll use to like craft something in the hideout. If I need the scav vests to craft ripstop or something like that, you might be able to find them here cheaper than bartering for them or whatever. But this kind of sucks. And this was supposed to be, it felt like a flagship thing of Scav Karma. You grind up to 6 so you can get this tier 2. So this was definitely one of the more conventional ways. We thought Scav Karma was going to be awesome and worth it and worth the grind. And at least in my experience, I am not able to find anything really that's worth it. And Fence Tier 1 is, as it always has been, just sucks. You got a lot more weapons now, but you're getting them all at the low durability where people can't sell these to traders. So they disassemble them and sell them to Fence. So Fence, purchasing everything from him kind of sucks. Another thing that I felt like was going to be really cool that didn't really pan out to be worth it at all to me was like scavs and bosses being able to follow you around. I'm up to 7.04 karma once again, and I still have a hard time getting even regular AI scavs, let alone boss scavs or scav guards, to follow you when you ask them to come. That was kind of part of the allure of getting up there, is because I guess you get higher in the ranks and you can use people and you can get get a squad going around. You can get some friends in there too, and then have this like Scav Army following you around. And I feel like that does not always work. I feel like every time I go to a boss or a boss guard or anything like that, they just give me the thumbs down and yell at me, and I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to get shot at. And the next thing is very much so in line with things that we thought were going to be really cool about Scav Karma. And this is actually, depending on who you talk to, really, really underwhelming or really, really good. And that is the gear that you get from your scavs, whether it's guns, armor, or rare items. Now, what I've done is I've taken screenshots of my last maybe 20 or so scav runs. Now, I know that that's not a large sample size. I mean, even if I took screenshots of 100 scav runs, it wouldn't be a big enough sample size because there's just hundreds of thousands of people playing the game, doing scav runs at all different times. There's so many different items in the game, and we don't know the percentage chance of anything spawning on your scav. However, I've got people that I know that have spawned with like something like, they get labs cards almost every other raid. Like over the course of 25 or 30 scav runs, they've gotten like 15 or 16 labs access cards, which sell for about 200k a piece. I've heard of scavs spawning in with like medical stuff like ophthalmoscopes or even ASAs, which is they're like 300, 400, 500K. You hear all sorts of crazy stories about people spawning with like LED X's or graphics cards. I don't know if those things are true, but I know that you can spawn in with really, really high valuable items, tons of keys. I've spawned in with like the Kiba key. People can spawn in with other colored labs cards and stuff like that. So the possibility is huge. You can spawn in with really incredibly expensive stuff. But as you can see from these pictures, my last 10, 15, 20 scav runs, I have spawned in with basically nothing better than maybe 35 or 40,000 rubles. There's still money to be made, but the whole having like a rifle and better ammo and better armor and, you know, really high rare stuff more often, it really depends on who you talk to. So this one, I kind of put right in the middle because sometimes it can pay off big, sometimes it can't. And it's a pretty hard grind up to the max rep if there's not an event going on or something like that. So doing that, making that grind just for the gear or the items, you might find yourself a little disappointed there, but your RNG may be amazing and you get awesome stuff. So some of the stuff that we thought was going to be amazing is kind of underwhelming. Some of it is really RNG dependent. However, there are some things that at least initially I didn't expect to make as big of a difference, and they did. So if you have the, I believe it's the Intelligence Center maxed out, you get reduction to your scav cooldown. So yeah, at level 3 Intel Center, it's a 41 effectively percent scav cooldown timer reduction. And as you increase your karma, your scav cooldown goes down as well. So up at max karma, I'm at 7.0 right now. My scav, as soon as I get out of a scav raid, if I go back, if I just dump my loot, come right back here, I have less than 5 minutes and 30 seconds left, which really effectively means that you can hop out of a scav raid, deal with some stuff in your hideout, you know, deal with the loot that you have, sell anything found in raid that you found on the flea market, sell your guns, strip them down, do what you need to do some stash organization, and you can be right back into a scav raid. So obviously the implications here are pretty huge because you can just like rinse and repeat this a lot. And even if you might not be making crazy money, a free kit is a free kit, and there's a no risk way to at least attempt to get other kits. You can, you know, chase down PMCs. You can go to more dangerous maps, more dangerous places, because you're not really worried. You're not losing your stuff. You're losing the scav stuff. And you can kind of rinse and repeat this. So obviously at a 5.5 minute scav cooldown, that is going to bring you a lot of potential profit. The other thing about this too that's really impactful is the exits. I didn't expect this to make such a big difference, but if you're scavving places like Reserve, especially, the fact that at the higher karma you have like 5 or 6 exits available to you, almost every single scav exit is available to me every single time I scav in. On a place like Interchange where there's only like 2 or 3 exits, it doesn't make that much of a difference. But if you're scavving somewhere like Reserve, that means you are never very far from an exit. And if you find something really, really good, you can hit it. There have been countless times at lower karma or in previous wipes where you kill some raiders or maybe a player all the way out at the K buildings and you don't have heating pipe and you have to hightail it to the other side of the map. That can be really dangerous, and having these extracts available to you, at least for me, dramatically increase the survival rate that I have on my scav. So that is definitely something to account for. That helps the survival rate and helps you get out of more of these raids that you can do more of because of the lower timer. The other thing, and this to me is probably the biggest moneymaker thing from Scav Karma, and that is the scav case cooldown reduction. So by about 40 to 45%, the time it takes to get stuff back from your scav case is reduced. And that is actually pretty huge. So stuff like Moonshine goes from like 4.5 hours to like 2.5 hours. The 85K goes from about 2 hours and 15 minutes to I think about an hour and 15 minutes. And during a normal play session, the 85K, at least in my experience, everybody's got their own kind of like folklore around what's the best scav case based on what they've gotten. The Intel and the Moonshine, I definitely believe have a higher chance to spawn good stuff, but they're significantly more expensive. The lower ones, the 1000 and 7K, I have gotten so few good things from, even though there's a little bit less risk there. The 85K for me feels like the sweet spot, and getting that down to about an hour, that means even if you play more casually and you play a few days a week and you play maybe 3 or 4 hours at a time, then you can pull probably 3 of these out each time you play, or more, obviously, if you scale up. And the 85K, because you can run it so much, you're gonna come out below a few times, of course. You're going to pull maybe 30, 40,000 rubles worth of stuff. But I've gotten 3 aces out of here. I've gotten lead X's. I've gotten fuel. I've got mag boxes. I've got tons of stuff that are in the 3 to 5 to 600,000 ruble range. And, you know, pulling that once, doing 85K and then getting one good pull with an ASA that you can sell for 500K, that covers any loss you're going to get from the 85K scav case for a really long time. And the fact that you can just keep running this means insanity. I know plenty of people that have pulled black key cards, green key cards, and insane stuff from these. So this actually ended up being the biggest thing for me as far as like increasing money made, because I don't have to keep doing scav runs. Like I can continue on my PMCs, I can keep questing, I can keep PvPing, I can keep doing whatever I want to do. I don't have to go back and rely on the scav, but the scav karma directly impacts my profit from the hideout, which makes the whole hideout more profitable, and it makes it easier to justify things like the Bitcoin farm or some of the other things. Some of the other little stuff from Scav Karma, like card discounts, are nice, but they're not huge, right? Like if you get to a place where you have max karma, you probably have 7,000 rubles to bring in for the customs car extract. What's nice is really if you forget money for the car extracts with that discount of about 50%, it's a lot easier to scavenge for that money, kill some scavs, see if they have money, loot some safes. And then the other cars like the woods and the interchange cars are much less expensive to begin with. So with the 50% discount, they're much less expensive. So that's not a huge thing. You're not making a bunch of money from that, but it's really just kind of nice. So that's kind of it. There's no new information here. Nothing about Scav Karma has changed, but as somebody who grinded up to max karma during the event and then has just been paying attention to where I'm making my money from, I found it interesting that it wasn't from the places we thought we were going to. Or at least the value isn't coming from those places. The fence tier 2 sucks, and some of those other things aren't as cool as we thought they were. But I would definitely end up saying that Scav Karma is worth it. The ability to run a scav every 5 minutes means there's a lot of profit potential if you want to run that way. If you lose all your money, if you get down to a bad spot, having that fallback of being able to run a scav every 5 minutes is huge. And then if you're not in a bad spot and you want to be running your PMCs, the amount of money you can make long term by doubling up the amount of things you can pull from your scav case is actually going to be pretty crazy. So I hope this helped. I hope that this encouraged you, whether you're close to Scav Karma and you were making that final push, or maybe you're over your Scav Karma and you're thinking about being a jerk scav. I think that it's worth having and it's worth keeping, especially since we don't know how it's going to change or how long this wipe is going to be. So I hope that this helped, and I hope that this helps you make more money from your fence rep in Escape from Tarkov. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to check out this video. If you liked the video, think about dropping a like, commenting down below, or subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Like we said before, I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below. And if you're looking for people to play Tarkov with, our Discord community is an awesome place to be. That link is down below as well. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.